Okay, so, first of all, I'm not going to try to act like, it no longer matters anymore that, your families, most of your friends, your kids, your closest family, your significant others, your whoever, I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't matter anymore. Your churches, I'm not going to act like it doesn't matter anymore that that everybody wants to be done, or they don't understand anymore. They, say things to you like, we don't understand why you're not well, I mean, why is it taking so long, and why, how could this possibly be possible? Well, if you're asking any of those questions, it means you haven't done the things that I've pleaded for you to do, and that's do your own research, which is how we found out why for 4 years, until a few months ago, I was in 7 different hospitals all over the state, with no visitors except once, and you know who you are, and in most places 7 to 10 days, while they pump you with all kinds of crazy medications and scream and yell at you because you're shaking so bad you can't sit down and you don't know why, and and so it's like, treating you like a crazy person when you know that you're not, that you just don't know what's wrong. And first of all, I now know I got akathisia from Abilify that started, what was 14 years of Klonopin only at night, to like taking it all the time during the day to try to control, my body. And, my poor mom, my youngest son were, the only two that were there for me, that, took care of me, and we didn't know what was wrong. And so then hospital after hospital after hospital, and then shock treatments, and 2 years of seeing the same psychiatrist who just kept putting me on, everything, and I mean, imaginable. And you guys already know a lot of this I've said, but, and then recommends, ketamine, which is a horse tranquilizer, because he's, to inject in your veins, because he's basically given up, just like, because he doesn't want to mention that it could be a long-term benzo dependency issue, because he's a psychiatrist, and that's what they do. That's what they do, okay? That's what they do. That's how they make their life. That's how they live in their fancy houses. Is doing this to people like me, to the thousands of YouTube people that have reached out to, or have seen my videos now, and those that have reached out to me. And so all I want to do is say, don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. This is a walk in the park right now as to what I went through when I went completely off the Klonopin. But we were desperate, and we thought we found a good doctor. Any doctor can say they're an addiction specialist, but most all of them are psychiatrists too. And so what they're going to do is like mine did. We went in there and we told him we were only there for one reason. One reason only, was to completely get off of the benzo completely, and if it took 2 years, fine, but he said it would be tolerable, that it wouldn't be easy, but it would be tolerable. Okay, that's fine, but no other reason, no psych drugs, no recommendation, and he was fine with that. He said, you know what, you don't have bipolar, all that crap that my family said, that I've never showed symptoms before, I mean, regular depression, and stuff that women go through. I mean, yeah, but But, that was in my 30s, and, we didn't know what was happening, I mean, and then I get prescribed something like Abilify, and my life has never been the same. And then we find out, what the real problem is that you try to take this drug away from you, and it will try to destroy you. It will tell you, hell no, you're not taking it away from me. It has done so much to your brain, and it will tell you every single day that it will convince you that you would rather die than go through another day of what you're going through. Okay? So just listen to me. We made the biggest mistake we could possibly have made. We trusted a doctor. We went to a specialist that we thought was going to help me. He said, no problem. That's, we can do this, and then the Valium. Oh my gosh, Valium is a whole nother beast, because it gives you symptoms that you haven't even had before, I mean, it's 3:00 and I'm in my pajamas, I mean, it makes you, I can't even put it into words. This is like, I mean, you have to understand, don't go to these detox centers to take you off in 6 days. First of all, that's a mistake. That costs thousands of dollars when you have Medicare, which is worthless. They might, soon to be President Trump might as well take it away because it's basically, useless for so many things. And so just what I'm trying to tell you is just don't go back and convince a doctor while you're crying in his office and saying, there's got to be another way, I don't want to go back on this drug, I don't want to, please, I don't want to, and he convinces you that there's no other way, that there's no other way to get through it except to go back on it, in a high dose that will get you stabilized, and so then you can start, what will probably be up to a 2-year taper, but it'll be tolerable. It won't be easy, but it will be tolerable, Well, guess what? It started out that, it started out a little tolerable. God even gave me Christmas Day with my grandson, but, even when you're acting like you're trying to get through it, or whatever, but deep inside, people don't know that you're like, you can't wait till they leave so you can start screaming, and so just, and Kenny said that, that the last thing he would ever let me do was take another one, and we went in there and we let a doctor prescribe this drug again, and now I'm here I am, trying to, figure out what to do now. I'm taking 5 milligrams away, for the last couple days of 40 milligrams, which is more than you're supposed to take away, because I want to take that much away in a week's time each week, which according to the Ashton manual is too fast, and some people say even her way is way too fast for a lot of people, so but you, I mean, I can't get stable. My body has such a tolerance to this medication that I did not abuse. Let me get that straight. I took what was prescribed of my medication for the first 14 years, never touched it during the daytime. I'm not an addict. I didn't touch it during the daytime. I took it because it was prescribed for me for insomnia for the first 14 years. And then the last 3 to 4 years after that, this past, it's like that's when I made the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life, and I went and saw a psychiatrist for the first time in my life. That was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. The second was allowing a doctor to do electric shock treatments on me. to put me on every other kind of medication and then not have any explanation as to why it wasn't getting better, or why I might have a couple weeks here and then it would just stop working. Well, guess what? Then we researched, and Kenny researched. He said, "Oh my God, Shelley, everything you have is what is on the list of side effects for benzodependency. That's what's going on. That's what's going on." And now it's like those 2 months recently of complete horrific, unbelievable crawling on the floor, begging God, make it stop, screaming, not being able to walk, not being able to sit down, not being able to ever fall asleep, not being able to eat, not being able to function, not being able to do anything. It's like all of that because I was so determined not to take another one of those pills. But my mom told Kenny she thought I was going to die. She said, "You need to find him wherever you've hit him. You need to give her one because she is going to die." He had her on speaker. Those were her exact words. And so I agonized for like 8 hours. I would put it in my mouth and I would spit it out. And then an hour later, I would try it and I would spit it out. I agonized for hours and hours, and continued to suffer rather than put that poison, evil drug back in my body. So I'm just telling you, then we go to a specialist that's been handling this supposedly since the 70s, and this is what he's done to me. And then when he wants to put me on, all of a sudden he's changed his mind. He wants to put me on Latuda. Latuda is very similar to Abilify. It's in the same class, And I was even warned by people on these support pages, "Oh my God, don't, Latuda gave me akathisia, and please, if you've had it," I told them I've had it before, and they said, "Please tell me it goes away. Please tell me it goes away." I mean, I read every day people begging for help. Somebody help them. They don't think they can do it anymore. And it's like, but I get treated like I'm a complainer. Now I'm a complainer. Now I whine too much. Now I share too much. Well, you know what? Forget about that. Because you know what? If this helps anybody out there, whether it's you guys on Facebook who might see this and go, "Oh crap, there's another one of Shelley's videos, I ain't watching that, I wish she'd quit posting all this benzo crap." I mean, because it starts out with people reach out, and then it's like, then it all stops, Well, it's because you're not doing your research. It's because you're choosing to not educate yourself on why your loved one or why your dear friend is still going through this after months and months. So, you make your own decision. I have people out there thousands of people all over the world that are suffering horrifically, with this. But I'm telling you, the doctors don't care. So if they're giving it to you for longer than it's 6 weeks maximum of time, it's because they don't care. They write it, they give it out like candy. They're pill pushers, and we can't find a doctor that's not a psychiatrist, and that's not going to say, "Well, maybe if you add this, it might calm you down some." That's not what it's about. Read about it, and everybody will say, whatever you do, don't take another mind-altering drug while you're trying to get through this. Don't take a psychotic type drug, and because you refuse it, then a doctor says, "Well, sorry, I can't treat you anymore." And that's not what we were told from the beginning. That's not why we went in there in the first place. We went in there and told him specifically, "This is why we're here. We don't want any part of any of that other stuff." He agreed. He agreed that I had been misdiagnosed. He agreed with what my symptoms were. He knew all the terminology. We thought, "Oh, praise God, we finally find someone who understands, that can finally help." But no, he didn't want to. And you know why? Because if you don't have an official diagnosis with Medicare, like if a doctor doesn't say, oh, I believe she's bipolar 2, she's got traits of bipolar or whatever, which certainly might seem like I do right now, but that's because that's what this drug does to you when you are coming off of it and when your body can no longer tolerate it, But if you don't have that diagnosis, Medicare will not pay these doctors, will not give them the money. So then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, well, I think you need to be on this because, I think you're depressed. Well, yeah, I come in your office and I'm crying because you've put me on all this medication and, and I'm still feeling sick and having symptoms that I didn't even have before. I'm not crawling on the ground yet. But I still beg God every day, like, if this is going to continue, then just don't let me wake up, I mean, because it's still, first of all, it's only going to get worse, and you just, guys, just please, just listen, stay off of it. If you're on it, I'm telling you again, do it, do it the right way. Find a doctor that will, most people say they go, what they do is they go in and they lie to their doctors because their doctor won't help them taper off of it, so they lie and they say, I'm still having anxiety, and I need my Klonopin, I need my Xanax, whatever. So they continue to get it and they're secretly, then doing their own taper. Some people are putting it in water and doing liquid titration and they take out a teaspoon at a time, for 2 weeks. Then after that 2 weeks, they take out another teaspoon, That's how desperate this situation is, but that takes, way too long, and I can't do this every single day of my life, for as long as it's going to take to do that. So for me, it means coming off of it quicker, and then, and being back to where, to even a 100 times more horrific place than what this is. And even the videos that I have posted, you guys still never saw how bad it got. And some of you that will see this on YouTube will say, oh, I know. People have told me they've had 100 at least different symptoms from this, So don't ignore what I'm trying to tell you, please. Don't ignore it because you just happen to be taking the drug, and you don't want to hear about it. Because one day, when it's been 14 years or 17 years for you, like it has been for me, you're going to wish, 10 years ago when Shelly was doing this, I wish I had listened, because there's things that I wish I had done differently. There's several things, and that's never see a psychiatrist, first of all. And just because I was having some depression. So first of all, never see a psychiatrist, and certainly never go to one who calls himself an addiction specialist, but is a psychiatrist that's just going to want to do the same thing as all the rest of them. So, I'm just trying to let you know, and I was going to make this short, and that's why I'm talking so fast, so that people would watch it, but now it's like close to 20 minutes long again. But, and I don't need to hear anymore. You got this, God's got that. I've been a Christian for a very long time. I had a 10-year music ministry. My kids, are still in music ministry, I know how to hold on to God, but I'm telling you, it gets harder and harder and harder. To even do that. I can cry and I can be like this while I'm shaking and screaming and crying and reading out my devotions out loud to try to make the devil make sure that he's hearing the words. But it's not changing the fact that I'm waking up to this, every single day, and alone and no contacts, no visitors, no nothing. Cause it's like, people just want to see a cute dog or cat or a beautiful or whatever. But you know what? That's not the real world. People who, got all political and whoever you did or didn't vote for, and what's happening in our country, that's the real world. I'm sorry that everything's not perfect, in my life. And I know so many of you have gone through such tragic things, I have someone, this one of the dearest persons in my life, going through, a hell that we don't know if this person is going to survive it or not, because it's not something that's considered curable. But this is also something that people die from every single day, whether it's by stroke, whether it's by seizures, whether it's by suicide, because you're not going to hear about those. You're going to hear all the success stories, but you're not going to hear about all the ones that didn't make it. And there's countless, believe me. There's so many that don't make it, and there's so many that think about because suicidal ideations are another part of what this does to you. So I'm just telling you, that it is extremely, extremely important that you listen and that and that you see this, because, whether you want to take 20 minutes out of your day, to rather, to watch The Bachelor or whatever than to watch this, okay, fine, then you do that. But there are people that will, and there's people that this might help. And this isn't about sympathy. It's not about being a complainer, and, because your family never, we didn't grow up that way. We didn't, our parents never complained. And so, this is how we do things. I mean, people will say the coldest, and they become cold, and they become cruel, and they become distant, and they become detached, and they, which is it's like, really? Because if I was laying in the bed with any other kind of illness, in a hospital, there would be flowers, there would be cards, there would be visitors, there would be pastors, there would be, and with this, people are alone. People's families tell them that they don't believe them, so I'm just telling you that. And if you haven't been on it as long, it might not be as bad for you, it's not the same for everybody, but don't be scared, don't be scared. Just make sure you educate yourself and try to do everything right, because, I did everything wrong, but not completely, I don't 100% blame myself, because first of all, I didn't know anything about akathisia, in the beginning. I know now what it was that was causing my body to completely lose control, back when I was put on Abilify, and so, they took it off for, of me. They had to take me off of it after just a few weeks, and then this doctor is like, well, if I'm not going to take Latuda, then if you're not going to do what I say, I was your patient, you agreed to do what we came in there to do, so I don't trust any of them, I don't trust any of them, so I don't know, after 4 years, I don't know how to find the strength anymore. I know what you're going to say. You find your strength through God. Like I said, I had a 10-year music ministry. I've been a Christian. I've had a relationship with Jesus Christ since I was 32 years old, even though I believed in Jesus before, but I didn't know anything about that, some people would condemn my son and have for converting to Greek Catholicism, because they don't think that they believe the same kind of stuff that a Christian should believe, because they don't bother to study and read the things that he posts, and it's I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why people would want to educate them on something that is considered in this country and in the UK to be one of the biggest prescription problems, in that there is, and so I know I was going to make this 10 minutes, and now probably nobody will watch it, except for the people, on YouTube. But, it'll go to my page, when you have time, an extra 5 minutes here, an extra 5 minutes there, or whatever, just watch it. But what I'm saying is, this, and that's why I posted that this is not like complaining. This is like, first of all, it doesn't allow you to think normally. It doesn't allow you to just get up and say, I'm gonna go get my treatment today, or I'm gonna go, do this, and I'm gonna think positive, and I'm gonna, because it's altered your brain in a way that and then Valium. Oh my God, Valium makes it so much worse, because Valium puts you in a place where you feel like the whole world is just like, it's just. It's just a whole nother evil, but it's all the same drug. It's all the same drug, so please, I've pretty much lost everybody in my family, except for my youngest son. God love him. God love him. Casey. Because I could call him and I could say, I need to talk to you. What are you doing? And it's like, where, when, Mom, or, I'll call you later. I'll call you, and then I'll call you back when I go to bed. I'll call you, but, it's like, I understand people have their own lives and they have their own, things going on, but you know what? When I had a new baby, my mom was going through all kinds of crap, whether it was surgeries, whether it was, mental issues, whether it was, horrible abusive relationship issues, but, as her daughter, I still had to deal with it. I still had to, take care of her. I still had to acknowledge her. I still had to do, what you do as someone who's raised you and taken care of you, so, and that's not meant to be, negative about, you guys know what I'm saying, anyway. Okay, this has now turned into probably the longest one that I've ever made, And I just want to say one more thing, because I can't say it, I'm not allowed to say it, but I wear this bracelet every single day and have for almost 2 years for someone that I love so much, and this bracelet this bracelet is, it says no one fights alone. Well, that's, there needs to be a different bracelet for this, because, it's not exactly the same phrase you feel like, but this bracelet represents multiple myeloma, and it's also something that I want everybody to pray about, please, that they'll find a cure, because, it's not what I'm going through. What I'm going through is different. It's a whole nother, I don't even know how to say it, but, but this bracelet has not come off in 2 years, and I want there to be a cure before it ever comes off, or if it ever will come off. So I ask you to also pray for that too. Some of you that will see it on YouTube aren't praying people, and I get that, because it's people, from all over the place, but I am, I believe in Jesus Christ, I do, but sometimes it just gets harder and harder to even want to do this anymore. once again, God bless all you guys. I'm sorry this turned out to be so long. I was trying to talk fast and not make it long. And I don't even know how long it'll take it to load now. And, but you know what? Maybe instead of watching something you've got recorded on TV tonight, maybe you can sit and watch it, as my friend or, and a former friend who just happens to still be on my Facebook page, because not everybody right now can be positive about the world and everything in it. It's just especially when you're first going through the beginning stages of trying to deal with something that's so, that can take people several years to get over. So anyway, I love you guys, and if this makes it to Facebook and you watch it, you know what? I know probably, I think the last one I posted was like 25 minutes, and I think I could count on one hand the people that actually, took the time to watch it, but, and it had a lot of really important stuff in it, and I was calmer then because my mom and Kenny thought I was going to die, and I had to take a Klonopin, but I would only take one within 24 hours, so I would suffer horrifically and wait to take it to closer to when Kenny got home, so that maybe he wouldn't have to go through this, and then there's support groups out there for people who are going through this with you, so you don't need to be reminded by people, well, he's going through hell too, because I've posted the support groups out there, and there and there's help for family members who are going out there, and so there's nothing more that I can do, because if you don't take advantage of that, then I can't help you, but I don't need it thrown in my face, about it, okay? I'm trying to help on both sides, not just on the understanding of this, but the understanding that people who are going through it with you, and the few that stick around, but the devil will try to destroy every relationship that you have with this, every one of them, and I mean every one of them. It will try to destroy them, and it has most with me, and that only makes it that much more difficult to get through, but anyway,